I think we can start now. Can you hear me, Suresh?
I can hear you. I hope you can
Yes,
see
you
the
are.
screen.
Yeah, you are audible. So, a
Yes.
very good evening, Suresh, and to all the teams out there.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Very good
Suresh,
evening,
Dr.
ma'am.
Suresh will give us some knowledge on teaching phonetics and introduction to Jolly Phonics. Suresh, we'd really love to hear something about yourself. So, if you could just tell us something about yourself.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. Before I begin, I would like to extend my gratitude to APTTI and the leaders of APTTI and TEFL Canada back in Canada, and also I wish to extend my sincere thanks to all the members, all the admin and members of APTTI here in India, especially Mr. Roy, and I also would like to thank Sushmita ma'am for organizing this small event. And I also would like to appreciate everybody for joining in today because I know that its time is precious for everybody. We don't have time for anybody else except for us. In a scenario like this, you've found some time to log in to just see what it is. Probably you're a teacher already, or you're a learner, or you're a student, and you want to become teachers. But definitely, this particular skill is a demanding skill today, and I'm sure that I will be of some help in making you understand the concepts behind this Jolly Phonics and phonetics, things like that. And just to talk about me, I'm Dr. Suresh. I'm a professor here. I also work as a TEFL trainer here for Tamil Nadu. And not only that, I've produced over 40 TEFL candidate here, TEFL Canada. And not only that, I have experience all over 14 years in as a professor in college, English professor, and I also been working as a freelance trainer and training students on, especially their English, specifically about pronunciation and phonics and soft skills, things like that. So I've had lots and lots of experience with me. I'm sure that my experience will definitely help you to get some inspiration, at least to start nurturing this skill in order to become a great teacher in your school or wherever you work, as a freelancer, as a trainer, as an online teacher, wherever you are. And I'm sure that that would definitely help you to become a better one. So today we're going to talk about this phonetics and Jolly Phonics. And while just keep moving forward, I would like to ask a question here. So this is the question I have: why we can't speak English like the Brits and Americans, or any other English people around the world? Anybody can unmute and can't speak English like the Brits and Americans. Anybody? Anybody? Or rather, it should be like, why can't we speak English like this? Why can't we? Yes, anybody would like to answer
Yeah,
this question?
yeah, I
Yes.
would like to answer this. Friends, I
Yes,
think
please.
yeah, it's a good question. Why
Okay.
we don't speak is because we don't practice. The reason is, see,
Okay.
we have everything, we have all the resources that we have. But when we watch a movie, we actually watch in the subtitles, and and what's happening is we don't observe their lip movements and the body of gestures and language gestures and what's happening is and we don't have much of good trainers actually to teach English. For example, if you have an English teacher, he would have actually been qualified in India, but haven't traveled to England, haven't seen Statue of Heaven or haven't seen any Shakespeare play, but he teaches literature. So there could be a gap. So this is my feeling and this is my observation.
Sir,
Very good, sir. I really appreciate you. Yes, yes,
I have
yes.
a slightly different answer. We don't speak English. I mean,
Definitely not like the Brits or the Americans, because that's not what we have learned from childhood.
Okay, great. I appreciate you, sir. Any other
Right?
view?
I mean, obviously, they can't speak Tamil like you and Telugu like me, so the same applies to us. It's not something that we have learned from our childhood. That's not the first language we have learned. So I think that that's a very obvious thing that we will not be able to speak like them, and that's how I look at it.
It's also probably because of the languages, the native languages that they
And
speak,
also, yes, exactly.
a lot of time the background at home.
Yes,
So
sir.
there may be five people who have
Yeah,
never
hello.
spoken the
Thank you.
language, and so it
Any
becomes difficult for them to guide the child or whoever it is. So that could be the main reason why we cannot speak the way they speak.
Yes, hello.
It's not the
yes,
language in which we think. It's not the language in which we think. If I can just add to whatever I said, that's, I mean, even now
see,
I've taught English
yes,
for
yes. I appreciate.
15 years now.
Yes,
I think
yes,
my thinking is
yes.
the
That
first
is
word.
also yes.
I mean, the
Please,
first
yes,
word
sir.
appears to me in my native language even today.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me? Everybody, can you hear
Yes,
me?
you are audible. Yes, you are audible.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yes, I think this is very good question. I like to just to say something about my opinion about these things. If you can hear me. All right. So this question
Yes,
is
please
very
carry
good.
on.
Yeah, this is very nice question. So I think the reason is
Yes, I
that
can hear
I
you.
think
Please
our
go ahead, sir.
confidence is the most important. Yeah, confidence is the most important thing I think that nowadays, because we don't feel so confident enough to speak like native speakers. That's why we don't speak like Brits or American. The number one reason I think is confidence. That's it.
Very good, sir. Very good. Thank you. So, whatever the views that was given by all of you, or the okay, but I would like to give my own views as well as a teacher. Like I said, I've been a teacher for a very long time. I've had amount of experience on this as well. And also, I've done a PhD in English as well, especially with the pronunciation stuff. So, in my experience, in my research, the reasons like that's like you're talking about the maybe childhood, but from the now in our school, in our Indian schools, what we do, we just teach the kids ABCD, directly go to A for apple, B for boy, and then we go to sentence. Just imagine that. Everybody uses the same alphabet, A to Z, 26 alphabet. Same English words, same phrases, same sentences, everything the same except the way how. So the challenge actually falls into pronunciation. So that means we don't even give any little bit of ABCD and then directly go to word, then sentences. But that's not the case with the many other foreign countries, especially even countries. What they do first, they teach the alphabet, and then they go with the phonics, and then they start teaching another a part called IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. So that way, by the time they touch reading and practicing words, a fair amount of knowledge and skills on sounding all the letters and pronouncing word basic. Then that's why they're able to do so. But that is lagging in our school. Not, I've never heard any school giving importance to either to phonetics, alphabet. Just to give a little idea, so what we are going to deal with, and And there is another part called IPA, International Phonetics, which you can find in a dictionary. Next to the word in bracket, you'll find some symbols like this. Let me just show it to you. This is the just to give you a little idea. This is a Cambridge one. I'm just opening it. So any word you type, like good, you look at this word. This is the phonetic transcription. This is called the IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. Any word you talk about, we pronounce. That's why we don't sound intelligible to the English people. Sometimes they struggle to understand us, and we struggle to understand them, vice versa, because of the way how we enunciate the English words. Because we mostly go with the in but there are 44 sounds all put together. So all these sounds are divided into vowels and consonants majorly, which we are known. But in interior, there are subcategories like short vowels and long vowels, diphthong. Just to give you an idea, this is a short sounds. Meaning short means short, not like that's it. Likewise, this is short sound. Ah is a long sound. So these are long sounds. We will also just try to find some time to at the end to get an idea on these as well. These are called and this one is oi. So we'll also talk about these as well. So I'm just giving you a little overview about what we are going to do in this. So consonants, it's been divided into two parts: voiceless consonant and voiced consonants. These are the sounds. These all put together 44 sounds. So English when you go as an adult, or it's always phonetic alphabet is followed in the foreign country when it comes to pronunciation. Approximately, just to give you a little idea, for example, most of the words we pronounce it based on the spelling, and the English words are not pronounced based on the spelling, actually. Probably some words are pronounced almost like the spelling way, but that is only approximately about 30%. Just 30% of the words, if you pronounce it correctly, you may be right. Maybe right, I mean, not exactly 100%. Probably you'll end up with 80% perfection with the way how it is pronounced, or 90% perfection with the way how we pronounce it. For example, when you say the word content, look at the word content, because there are two syllables in this word. I'll also just type the word so just to give you a little idea as to how it is. This particular word is two syllables. In the English language, every words are split into syllables, and each syllables are given with a transcription like this. So let me just type the word so that you can get an idea. Okay. We usually majority of us would say like content, but this word is actually divided into two syllables. So if you stress at the beginning, then it is a noun, meaning it is stuff, matter, or material. But if you stress at the end, it is a verb, meaning satisfaction or happy. Have you, probably if I ask this question, how many of you ever pronounce this word as content to mean satisfaction? Probably you may raise your hand, never meant it so. For example, if you say content, stuff, matter, material, it's a noun meaning. But if you say content, it means it's a verb because you're stressing the second part, meaning happy, satisfaction, okay, comfortable, something like that. Likewise, for example, there are things like India is for example, like I said, every words can be split into, not can be, it is split into pieces called the syllable, and not all these pieces are given equal volume. Only one piece is given more volume than the rest of the syllable, and that is called the stress. That is another category of pronunciation. Probably later we'll talk about that. So here we usually give here, India is a democratic country. Demo is where we give stress usually, but according to this English language, it is actually here. The example is giving you the reason for not speaking English like the Brits or the Americans. The reasons because we're not on the if at all we give it is probably important so that if taught or are taught these sounds before they at the very early stages like first standard or second standard or the beginning stage of alphabet, and I'm sure that they would definitely be speaking words, pronouncing words correctly, and down the line they will be pronounced correctly, and that easy for everybody to understand each other pretty well. And I don't think I'm not saying that we can speak like British exactly like them. Ultimately, we can touch at least 95. I doubt if we go beyond that, but we can definitely touch 95 like the Americans or the British if we practice or if we teach our kids with these things. So that is why this Jolly Phonics, but this is a little advanced level here, this phonetic alphabet. Understand these sounds because this, like I said, it's a little advanced level, and that's before that. First, they teach the alphabet. Even in the UK, the first they alphabet, and after that is Jolly because it's about all the sounds and letters uh, or like that. When it comes to English, there is no standardized teaching methodology which can be given like 100% okay. There's nothing like that in the whole world. Okay, that's why people are still researching about it and still finding out the best way to teach English and because it just keeps moving on. And for example, if you see that parents would have spoken English in a different way, olden kind of English, and your father and mother would have spoken little upgraded version of, and I'm sure that your kids definitely speak much better English than you, and your grandkids will definitely speak better than your kids. So that's how it is actually on. So in a scenario like that, the approaches and methods and things are still going on. It'll be on and on and on. There is no standard or fixed kind of style or methodology which anybody can use in the whole world. So everybody picks up the language exactly as it is. No, there is nothing like that. So in this present scenario, the one that is acceptable one, I don't say it is 100 perfect or 100% useful or meaningful. It's one of the best way as of now. One of the best way. It may change. Maybe after some time, somebody else may come up with different idea to teach these sounds and letters and alphabet, things like that. But as of today, based on the today's scenario, learners, so that is what this phonics they brought in this idea, and is just learning the individual sounds with a splitting it, like this, but at bat like that. And this is different approaches. I'm just giving a little idea. And this is another like learning sounds or letters, a group of letters at the word level. like sit. They just keep on many words, and then you try to figure out, and you just try to grab the sound of those recurring sounds. And there's another way. What they do is they just read, play some games, or do any kind of activity where to master a particular sound by hearing again and again and again. Like that, if you see this. These tongue twisters, and this will help you to get this particular sound, S and she. So these are some of the approaches today that is still going on in the basic sounds of the alphabet. But the one that is proven is the Jolly Phonics. That the one that is used majority of the schools all over the world is Jolly Phonics. But this particular concept came up by two teachers in UK, especially these two persons, Sue Lloyd and Sarah Warnham. So these two came up with this idea, and it was actually publicized and made it big by the Jolly Learning Limited. And like it's a child-centered learning approach to phonics. It's child-centered because they stoop down to the level of the kids, at the level, and then they just start moving along. It gets the attention of the kids. That's what they mean. The child-centered learning. For example, the way how we teach in schools, like the is different from the way how the kids are handled. So this one is specifically about child-centered, getting the attention of the kids. So there are actually 42 letter sounds actually. Now, I spoke about a 26 alphabet that everybody knows, but there are actually 44 sounds in the English language. That is with the International Phonetic Alphabet. But 42 sounds, not 44. 44 IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. So let's not pull that into Jolly Phonics. We are focusing into Jolly two sounds. They've actually been divided into seven groups. They've grouped it, but they're not like in a logical order, alphabetical order. It's like random, based on the easy way and little challenging way and little more challenging way. That way, and it is for which is not enough for a full acquisition of the. Give my view that this phonics or phonics cannot cover everything. This is just for this is the best way. And after some time, once you pass through, you may definitely go through IPA international. Only then you get the full picture. Otherwise, you're still half bottle, and then you won't be able to make a difference with the intelligibility of. So
Suresh, I'm so
this
sorry
is
to
just for
interfere.
beginners.
Suresh,
That's
I'm
why
so
they
sorry to
came
interfere.
up with this idea,
Suresh,
and it's over 3 years of not like 6 or 7 kind of level students.
Suresh, I'm so sorry to
Yes,
interfere.
ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, ma'am.
Suresh, I think there is a huge network issue from your end, Suresh. Your voice
I'm
is not
listening, ma'am.
clear.
You're trying to say something.
Your voice is not clear. Your voice is breaking, Suresh. I think you have a network issue.
I can hear you, ma'am. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, we are not able to hear you properly, Suresh. So I think candidates are not getting what you're exactly trying to
Okay,
explain.
okay. Let me just come a little bit. Just hang on.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Shushmita ma'am, voice is
How
not
about now, ma'am?
clear.
Is that
Yes.
okay? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Is that fine?
Yeah, I
Is
can
that
hear you.
okay? Okay. I'm really sorry about the interruption. I'm sure it is fine now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm also visible, right? Am I
Right.
visible? Is my screen visible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. So
Are
basic.
you? Yeah.
background about this Jolly Phonics. Now we're gonna go get into one by one all the sounds, and we'll get some idea on how it is done. And they all have writing style as well. So this is exactly they follow the Jolly Phonics when it comes to writing. This is exactly this particular style. It's about writing, just to give you a little picture about the writing style. This is how they've actually grouped into those sounds into like this. Group one will have like 6 sounds all put together, like 7 groups, and you have 42 sounds. So we're going to talk about one by one. This is the first sound, and we'll also just try to have some interaction between us. So they follow. Followed from the easy ones to the little challenging one, likewise. Okay, and it is also taught with a specific kind of actions, bodily actions, which every teacher must do in the classroom or in the learning kind of an environment. That's the key. It's not just the sound alone, it's the way how you actually import it in the classroom. That matters a lot. They've also given specific you have to do in the classroom. You may find some other phonic styles, but with a different kind of methodology. But this one specifically basic principles of the rules. So when you talk about the sound, it's like the snake, making shapes and like this. So likewise, teacher, you just have to in the classroom. Only then you can get the attention. Otherwise, if you're going to be like a machine in the classroom, start explaining everything like a machine without any bodily expressions like bodily movement or some kind of a dancing, no modulation, and a pleasant voice and no effectiveness. So that you really have to remember. It's not about what we actually impart that is most important in the beginning. It's about it doesn't matter whether you're going to go talk to this primary or so the specific one they've given an example is the snake. You just have to use. I hope you could see my hand, the video, my hands. So like this snakes. So wave like a snake. Make a shape saying. That is exactly the sound of this letter. Sound of this letter. So letter S has got a specific or unique sound that is called S. How and where we can associate it with? It's with the snake. Just in your neck in the front part. Usually, these men will have raised kind of here in the middle of your tongue, front part. The neck, front part of your neck, front side. So you put your fingers there and then start saying like. It should not vibrate. You should not feel any kind of vibration. They're all the sounds put together. That it's divided into 2 sounds: voiced sounds and unvoiced sounds. Okay, so the S like this. If you put your fingers here and you say like no vibration, if you don't have any voiceless sound, no voice at all. So there is another sound that is called voiced sound. When you put your fingers here, like if you do the honey bee kind of a sound, like zzz, you feel the vibration. If it vibrates, it's a voiced sound. If it doesn't vibrate, it is unvoiced. Only 2 types. If it vibrates, voiced. Otherwise, unvoiced. Okay, so this is how you really have to do. There are even videos they have given in their website, and I'll also show you some of the videos as well, just to you may use in the classroom, or you may just prepare yourself based on that as well. Words. That's not the way how it is. They always start with the 3 letter words or 2 letter word, and then they go on to 4 letter, 5 letter, 6 letter. So, for example, some of the teachers I've seen, they teach like this. T. Sorry about that. They say like ah ta. I'm sure you're not one among them. Like this is how they split it and they pronounce like ka ah ta cat. Now how in the world it could be like that? Look at that. When you say ka a ta, must be when you put it together it should be kaata, not cat. But that's how some of people, maybe they're not given the right direction as to how it should be taught. But it should be like this: at cat, at. Letters in the English language are assigned exactly the specific or unique way that we have to get it. So that is starting with the S sound. Just to give you sun, sorry, sorry, um, soon. Words like that. I'm sure that you can get this sounds, S sound. Now we have to go a little more faster, I think. This is the sound of A, where you have the short A. Short A means short sound. It's not a long sound. I hope you can understand that. So when you say this, there's even a song that there are YouTube songs and videos like that. Try that. You just have to enact in front of the kids like this. Wiggle fingers above elbow as if ants crawling on you and say ah 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 ah, like that's the sound. Ah, ah, not ah 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 ah. Look at
Shushmita,
some
ma'am.
limitations.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Suresh.
voice.
am I not audible?
Ma'am, voice is not clear.
Oh, okay, just hang on. Let me probably I'll just mute the video because video pulls more internet. Probably that's one of the reasons. So I'm just going to mute my video and leaving the audio. Probably this will be okay now.
Let's
Or
see.
I'll also just try to make a little more audible way. Just a moment. Okay, now I believe because I made myself exposed to the internet. Okay, so we were talking about this sound, as in you can say like apple, like aunt. You say, even if you go with this, the word, this Jolly Phonics is completely about British English. It's not about the American English, because if you say this word ant, the British will say some words like dance, dance, dance. Look at that. The British will say ah, dance, but the Americans will say dance. But there is no differentiation in the way how it is segregated here with these Jolly Phonics. The little advanced level I'm talking about, just to give you a little example, like this is dance, dance. Dance is American. Whereas like there are some of that like fast and fast things like that, but this one they're talking about ant, as in cat, mat, rat, fat. These are like words like that. If there is a word you're going to teach in the classroom, like just to give more example for this particular sound, if say mat, you have to teach them like this. Not ma, it should be mat, at, mat, at, mat. So when you split, the sound should be exactly the same way, either way, vice versa. When you split it, the same sound. When you put it together, the same sound. At, mat. So that is how you really have to do it in the classroom. So that is the sound of the and. This is the short sound, not a long sound. And this one's about if you see this, most of us, I would say that 99% of us would pronounce this way. in a different way, especially Indians, especially non-native speakers of English. What they do, let me just switch on the video so that I can, I mean, my video, I'm sure it is visible. Yes, please ignore my background. I don't know, it is, it's dark. Sorry, hang on. Okay, it's better. Please ignore my background. Like this. When you say you take a piece of paper, uh, you take a piece of paper, we usually say like this. Like this. I'm sorry, you see that? When we say this sound, the letter T, like this. T, T. Temple, tango, tan, time. There is no movement with the papers at all. That is not the way how English is actually used or spoken. It should be like this. Time. Look at that. Time. Temple. You see that? That's the way we have to practice. There are like three sounds like this in the English language. That is P, T, K. P as in Peter, K as in kite, and T as in tango. P, T, K. Like, or if you put your palm here down your mouth, the puff of air must come and dash your palm with the force. To the extent that paper usually goes away, the air actually chases the paper away like that. That is the way we have to pronounce it. Not like we usually say temple, temple. No, temple. You may practice now simultaneously. Temple, temple, kite. That's the way we have to usually say the sound. But here, you have to use in a way like in the classroom. Children imitate watching tennis. I'm sure that the kids would know how the tennis is actually played. When they say on both the sides, there will be like sound, that ticking kind of a sound, tick tick sound. So likewise. So that you have to really enact. So T as in Tom, that basic, we know that. It's not a challenging sound, but that one thing that you have to understand about this one is it is called aspirant. This particular sounds, the P, T, K are called aspirants, meaning when you pronounce it, you have to aspirate it in such a way that the puff of air from your mouth forces out and then gives that kind of a sound like paper. I did it with the paper light. That's the way how you have to push the air with the sudden release of air, which comes out suddenly and then with the force. That's the way you have to do it. Not all the sounds are said like this. Only these three letters P, T, K. You remember that. That's the one thing that you have to remember. Otherwise, you know exactly what to do. The next one is the short sound. It's I, as in, but of course, you know, you have to understand that the letter I gives two different sounds. Sometimes it is E, sometimes it is I. For example, fight, kite, right, might, and sometimes it is a sound of a E. The second one is it's a diphthong, meaning it's a combination of two vowel sounds. It's called diphthong. That's a little advanced level, but here with this phonics, Jolly Phonics, they're going with a short sound, which is E. E as in fit, kit, miss, lit, a thin. These are some of the example words. Now, when you say this in the classroom, you have to do some actions like this. So pretend to be a mouse by wiggling fingers on end of your nose, like whiskers, and squeak like e, like how it is said, like e, e. I'm sure that they would know. They would have seen. They will be familiar with this kind of a sound. That's why they use this kind of images. And moreover, it is always good if you show images in front of the kids so that they will go get registered in their memory. So it's a sound of E. There's nothing specific or special about this to learn. We already know about this, the sound of E, not I. E. It's a short sound. I is a diphthong. We'll talk about that a little later. The next sound is about P. Like I already talked about the sound, like when you just if you lit a candle and then in front of the candle you just go keep your mouth not close to it. If you keep it close, then your lips will be burned. Not to that extent, a little away. When you say p, p, that the light should go off, the fire should go off. Like when you say, that goes away. Not that way. You have to say, if you do that, and the light should go away. That to that extent you have to say. So that's you can just hold it up like this. Hold up index finger as if it is a lit candle, and imagine puffing it out, saying. That's the way you have to say it. Just to give you a little example, some word example, like pant, P-A-T, there's a word, or maybe P-U-T, a simple word. Not, not B, no. Uh, sorry, not put, put. That's the way you have to teach them in the class. And this is again an easy sound. Yes, I'm sorry. Is there anybody trying to say something or ask something?
Suresh, I think you better continue. If you have any
Yes,
questions, it
thank
will be
you.
done
Thank you.
after
This
the
is
session. Ashwini,
yes.
please
And
mute
this is
yourself. If you have any questions
okay.
and doubt, it will be taken after the session.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
fine.
thank you. Thank you. So this is a
Others, please
sound of
mute yourself.
N. This is called the nasal sound. There are some letters in the English language which are called nasal, like L, M, N, because when we pronounce these letters, the air actually from your lungs goes out through your nose, not through your mouth. So if any sound when you say when you pronounce any letter, if the air actually goes through your nose, that means it is a nasal sound. So this particular letter and its sound is called a nasal sound. Look at the hold out arms, you have to act in the classroom like how the picture is actually given there. So you say You don't push the air through your mouth. We usually don't do that. So we just have to specifically tell them. So like that. That is a sound, and that's group one. So like I said, it's been grouped into seven types, seven group. I will also share that PPT. Don't worry about that. So this is the second set. The one that we saw already is the first group, and then this is the second group. And in the second group, there are like six sounds. Where the first one, just to give you a little idea, that's the sound. Like I said, PTK. These are the aspirants. Like I said, these aspirant sounds are pronounced in such a way that puff of air comes out in such a way that it comes out with a force. So, and then the second one is as in echo, as in elephant, as in end. And the next one is H sound, which is not like ha, it's ha, short, not long. No, like that. And the next one is but you have to understand one thing, that this particular letter and the sound we usually say like with no, definitely not, because if you touch the tip of the tongue, your tip of the tongue, with any an upper part of your mouth inside, then it'll start giving you this kind of a sound, kind of there's kind of a flapping sound. That's not the way how you have to do. The tip of the tongue must not go beyond more than one beat. If you go more than one beat, if you leave it to more than one beat, it'll be like so that's when we say father, mother, brother, door, floor. No, not like that. Because look at that. More than one beat. More than one beat. No. You have to cut it short to one beat. If you leave it for second beat, then it'll go like that's a change we have to adjust the way how it is done. Or in other words, you remember like this: when you pronounce the letter R, make sure that the tip of the tongue does not touch anywhere inside your mouth. If it touches, then it goes like if it doesn't touch, then you say it right. And the next one is which you say like which is a nasal sound. And then the next one is not da. It should be d. So we'll just see one by one. This one's about And you just have to raise your hand and snap fingers together as if playing castanets, like and say like that. You have to enact the sound aspirant sound where you have to push the puff of air with a force. And the next one's about as an egg, enemy, elephant, emperor, like that. So when you give this in the classroom, like you have to pretend to hold the egg with one hand as if cracking it against the side of a bowl or pan. Use both hands to open shell, saying like that. You have to practice that way. And then this one's a sound of not not ha, no. That's it. Act as if panting, like puffing and panting. When you just run, you just stop after some time. It's just like not like that. But if you say leave it to then that'll just go the other way around. Cut a chart to that's it. Like that. And then this is the sound of You may even use this image and then you can pretend to be like, these are specific images used by Jolly Phonics. That's why I'm just showing exactly the same way. You just have to pretend to be a puppy pulling a rag and with the teeth clenched and shaking a beat saying like, not like, not like, it should be, meaning the tip of your tongue does not touch inside your mouth anywhere. If it touches, it spoils. So be very careful about that. And there's the sound of like you have to rub your tummy when you feel hungry, where you say, feeling hungry, kind of that. Okay, so you have to rotate your hand on. You just have to roll your hand on your tummy in a round kind of shape like this. It's a nasal sound because the air goes through your nose. The sound of like when you have a drum like this, you just put it like d d d d, not da. Please don't say something like da. It is not a da sound. It is not da da sound. It's d d d, not da. Be very careful. Not da. It should be d d d. That's the way we have to do it. And then the third group, just to give you a little preview, the first sound is the g, not ga. Don't say like G, A, P as ga, a, pa. No, not like that. Or ga, a, p. Not like that. G, g, a, p. Gap. G, a, p. Gap. That's the way we have to tell them. Okay? The second one's like ooh. Ooh. For example, words like God, things like that. And the next one is like as in put and could, small words you can think of. And the next one is L, which is a nasal sound. Oh. When it comes to this L sound, what we usually do is the tip of the tongue, when we pronounce this particular letter, we usually, the position of the tip of a tongue, usually we keep it like just right above the upper teeth inside. It does not touch inside your teeth at all, inside teeth, upper teeth at all. That's not the way. We say like bell. You can try it. When you say the word B-E-double-L, bell, look at that. It does not even touch the upper teeth inside at all. It goes somewhere above the upper teeth. That's not the way. That's not the place where you have to touch when you pronounce this particular letter. You have to touch the tip of the tongue at the back of your upper teeth. Excuse me. Please try it like bell, lady, not like lady. When you say lady, the tip of the tongue somewhere touches above your upper teeth inside. Now it should definitely literally touch the back of your upper teeth. That's the way how you really have to say it. Bell, girl, lady, land, like that. And the next one is not far, it's only the air comes out, not the sound. Not the sound like fa. No. And the next one is not ba, it's b. B. That's why, that is how we have to say. We'll just go a little explore on this. So sound of g, you just have to spiral hand down as if water gurgling down a plug hole and say like g, g, gurgle. Like in the kitchen usually it happens. So they might have, the kids usually would have noticed that. So that's why they've given here as a familiar picture, which will give them an idea as to understand that particular sound. G, 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 g. That's the kind of sound it would give. G. This is sound of like sharp or like off. When you say imagine turning switch on and switch off and say on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off, like on, off, on, off, on, off. Short sound. Short means short sound, not on, off, off. That is a sound. And then the next one is like it's the again a short sound which is called a vowel, which we usually say. It's just like you're holding an umbrella, like up. You put two hands, like you just see the image and you can just practice that way, like up, like that, up. That is the sound up you. And this one is like I said, it's a nasal sound where all you have to touch the tip of the tongue just exactly at the back of your upper teeth. Oh, oh. And you can do it in the classroom like licking a lolly. So pretend like licking a lolly, like oh, like that. So usually these actions motivate the kids to pick it up easily. And the next one is like fish. So you have to place one hand above the other and lower the top hand as if inflatable fish is deflating and say like like that. That's the sound F. We are already good with that. We had nothing to do. I mean, there's nothing more to learn on this. But just to make sure that you don't say like fa. Don't say fa. It's that's it. And this one is but. When you just bat, it's a but, but, but. But when you just bat, if you just watch cricket, like kind of a sound it comes like but, not ba, not ba. It's bu, 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 bu. That is how we have to say it. And the group on four is like a. The first one is a diphthong because it is a combination of two vowel sounds. So it's ai, like a. And the second one is again j, j. It's similar to the letter G sound. And the next one is like O and E and R. We'll just explore the sound. First, look at the long R. It's like I, like cup hand over ear as if hard of hearing and say I. Oh, some other example words like I, kite, right, might, fight, light, night, and lighter. Nine. That is a sound. I. So it is phonetically, it is called as a diphthong, but jolly phonically, it is said as a long sound, as I. What are you trying to say? I don't understand. What are you saying again? I, like that. The next one is the jelly. So they are familiar with this image or the object jelly, so they know the sound. You can show this or the image or even the object jelly. That's the sound. Jelly. Jelly. There's a sound of O, where you say like you have to bring. You see something. Some insert. Look at that. There's a tree that is actually falling. That is fallen on a goat here. So when you see this kind of an image, what is your expression? You say, oh, that is a sound like OA. Wherever you have this spelling combination OA in any word, you just have to give this kind of a sound. Oh. So you can use your hand, mouth like this. Oh, just to give them the idea, students or the kids. That's the sound. Oh. And this is the sound of like I. It's a sound like when you say I. Sorry, if you would have seen any movies like English movies, there's that I say olden kind of a movie. Just to give you a little more example words like I, as in right, a kind of a fight, light, sir, something like that. I, that's the sound. I.
That's the naval in the navy, right?
Yes, yes, naval card. Yes. Okay. The next one sound is like it's a long and the or sound is like the donkey how it makes some sound. It pretends to be like a donkey braying and saying like e or like that. That's how you can practice there the sound. E, the first one, the upper one. E is just like the long sound. E. Or is like or like the donkey makes some noise like e or like that. So that's the way we can practice in the classroom the sound. And the next group is the Z. Z is okay. We are good with that, but make sure that your vocal cord actually vibrates. So put your fingers here in the middle of your neck, front part of your neck, and when you say zzz, like the honeybee sound, zzz, it should vibrate. If it vibrates, then um, you're saying it correct. One particular problem we have with this one is like in the English language, not all the yeses are yes sound. Not all the z's are z sound. For example, when you say this word, we always understand that the letter yes, there is a letter yes, so we have to give the yes sound. Not exactly, because there is a yes letter, but you have to give a z sound here. You have to say please with the z sound, meaning your neck should vibrate if you keep it here. Your vocal cord should vibrate. That's the sound. If it doesn't vibrate, it is a yes sound. If it vibrates, it's the Z sound. So you really have to give the Z sound. Just to give you a little tip. So how to find out? For example, please, excuse me, excuse, and nose, and pose. So all these words, there are yeses, but you have to give the Z sound here. And words like wise. So there's an easy way to find out. If you find the letter yes in between the vowels, the yes, you must give the Z sound. Remember that. It's an easy tip for you. Look at that. Any word, any letter yes you find in between the vowels, or before and after you have the vowels. It doesn't matter, any combination of vowels. If you find it, that S, you have to give the Z sound. So please, excuse, nose, pose, wise. And look, and that is a yes. Look at this word. We usually say like pizza or pizza. Either way you say, you give, most of us would give the Z sound, thinking that there are two Zs, so we definitely have to give the Z sound. No, not exactly. That is not the way how it is pronounced. There's no Z sound at all. Like this, pizza, pizza, pizza. You should not give any Z sound at all with this pronunciation of this word. It should be pizza, the long sound. It's not pizza or pizza or something like that. It should be like this, Pete, E with a long E, P, Pete, S, not sa, so pizza, pizza, pizza. Whether you go to British or America, the same way it is pronounced, pizza. It's not like Americans different and British different, no, not like that. So there, you find two Z's, but no Z sounds at all when you pronounce it. So you can just think about it. Just remember. Okay, so likewise Z. And the W, there is one thing that you have to remember. Like when you say Z, it's z, z, that's it. Z, z, z. When you say W, you have to say what. What? Now we say like we bite the lower lip when we say this particular sound, like what, when, where, something like that. That is not the way how you really have to put your mouth position. You have to put it like when you whistle. Like, how do you do?
Suresh sir,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
can you please share these?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I will share it. I will share it. And let me just finish it. We have some more slides, and at the end we'll have some question and answer session. Okay. So there's W. When we say, you have to say with the like when you whistle, like that's the position from where you have to start pronouncing the letter. What? Not like biting the lower lip with your upper teeth. That's not the way. Usually we do that way, but that is not the way. You have to squeeze your mouth like this. From there, what, when, where, why, you have to do it casually. What, when, where, why, something like that. And this ng, we're good with that already. Ng, ng. And the V is like not va, It's you bite the lower lip and they start vibrating like honeybee. That's the sound. And the first O is the short O. The second one is a long O. Oh. That is the sound. So we'll explore these sounds here. So this like the honeybee. We already know that. We can practice it. So pretend to be a honeybee, and then you start making sounds like honeybee in the classroom. You can make all the kids to repeat after you or do it simultaneously. So that way you can do it. But one thing you have to remember that you cannot give all these sounds together in one day. You just have to give bit by bit. Only then they take it. If you're gonna give a lot more and then they don't remember, they don't remember any of them, or they get confused with this or that. So you have to give bit by bit. So with actions and images, so that'll store in the get stored in the memory. Okay, so that is a what sound. Look at this. What. When you blow air, like you can just give like there's an image or an example. What? Look at the mouth position. It's not like biting the lower lip with the upper teeth, which many of us do. But it should be in a round shape. Your mouth should be in the round shape. What? From there you have to release it. What? Like that. And then this is the sound of pretend to be a like weightlifter, bringing arm above head and say like that. He's struggling to pull it upward, like that kind of a sound. You can just practice in the classroom. It's like van. Look at that. Pretend to be a driver driving alone in a van, saying You can you can just tell the kids like you're holding the steering, the wheel. Okay, they can just have like left and right like that. Van, the sound. And this is the sound of O, little and long O. Look at imagine being the cuckoo in a cuckoo clock, just jetting head forward and back, saying that's called for the cuckoo like ooh, ooh, cuckoo, cuckoo. It'll be like that. Ooh, 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 in the clock. Ooh, 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 ooh. He doesn't say ooh, ooh, or ooh, 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 ooh. Short, ooh, long, ooh, 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 ooh. So that you can give it, so it'll be easy for them to remember. So this is a short, and the long sound. The first one is the short. The big ones are long. So this is the group six. The first one is the sound of y, not y. It's a sound of y, y. And the next one is x, x. Like when you say this x, you may say like k, x together, x, or maybe like put it together, x, x. Or it doesn't come like I, k s. How do you say x, x, x? That is a sound, x sound, x, x. And this is the sound of ch, ch, and this is the sound of sh, and this is the sound of the, and this is the. We'll just explore it. The first one, look at the sound. Pretend to eat yogurt from a spoon, saying yeah, yogurt with like each spoon saying yeah, yogurt. Yeah, that's the sound. And this is the X-ray, KS sound. That is a sound. And this one is a like ch, as in chair. Wherever you have the spelling like chair, you can have it like ch, like catch, patch, latch, pouch. That's the sound. Ch, 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 ch. That is a sound. Like in the train, it gives a sound of ch, 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 like that kind of a sound. This image will help them. And then like the baby is sleeping, and then you tell another kid, hey, don't make noise, because otherwise the kid will wake up. So shh, shh. We are familiar with this. We are good with that. The same way you can just teach them. Shh, shh, shh. That's the sound. As in push, cash, smash, trash, polish, words like that, example words. And this one is a sound that there are two different sounds actually. The first one is called voiced sound, like as in voice means you should vibrate here. The second one is voiceless. The one thing that you have to notice here is that when we pronounce any word with the th letter combination, what we do, this, you say that, this, we touch the tip of the tongue just right about our upper teeth inside. That's not the place. You have to pull outside a little bit, the tip of your tongue. Look at this tongue position here. So you have to pull it together. The first one is the voiced one. The second one is unvoiced one. You have two images. Okay. The first one. Some examples are like this, that, those. So you keep it light and you keep it a little short, a little bit outside. This, that, those, and their words. Some example words. The second one is like you just go a little violent. This, not this one. Like faith, filthy, uh, thermometer, theft, thief. When you say the word thief, you just go a little violent. The first, when you say this, you don't say this. We say this, and it should vibrate. When you say the word thief, it should not vibrate. You put your fingers in this Adam's apple. That's what the middle of your neck, front part of your neck. It's called the Adam's apple, the raised spot. You put your fingers there. If it vibrates, it's a voiced sound. But when you say this word thief, it is not a voiced sound. It's an unvoiced sound, meaning it should not vibrate when you say the word thief. Okay, thief. But just remember that you put the tip of your tongue outside your mouth a little bit for voiced sound, and a little longer for the unvoiced sound. So these are two different sounds here. And the last one is like quick, quick, as in quick. Like we are already familiar with that, but when you teach them, you say like quick, quick, not like qui, q or something like that. It should be like quick, like when you say the duck, when the duck actually goes away, like when it makes noise like quack 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 quack, like short sounds like that. Quack quack quack. That's the sound. The next one's like o, and the next one's oi, and oo, r. We'll explore that. The first like the duck. Make duck break with a like his hand and say like quack 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 quack. That's the sound. Quack. You're familiar with it. And the next one is the sound of ow, ow. For example, pretend your finger is a needle and the prick thumb, saying ow. You say ow, as in how, now, round, foul, loud, doubt, mouse, mountain, not mountain, it should be mountain. So that's the sound. Ow, ow, ow. So all of a sudden you prick your finger, you say ow, or sometimes you say ouch, ouch. That's the sound. Ow, ow. And this one is like oi. When you say like you 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 keep your hands like this around the mouth and as if you're hailing a passing boy and saying like oi, oh, something like that, like oi, as in boy, noise, toy, loitering, and um, Roy and Mr. Roy, like that, the name Roy. That is the sound. You can remember that. And this is the sound of like you, long you. It's a long you, nettle sound. In Tamil, they say like nedil kodil, something like that. You point out you, not somebody else. You, it's a you sound, as in Q and mew, like the cat mew, mew, and lure, lure, lure. For example, the jug rays luring the ants. That word, lure. So you. It's a long u sound. That is a sound. And this one's like er. You just have to roll your hand over and over each other and say like as in her. When you say the word her, just to give some example, teacher, any word with a combination of teacher, father, mother,
Preacher,
brother.
preacher.
Yes, exactly. Yes, preacher, commander, trainer, and blender, That is the sound. And this is the sound of like like when you just open your mouth wide and say it's the sound you can just see the images that'll help you to tell them like, that's the sound. And just to give you a little more, if I may, I would also like to tell them the sounds. This is called the phonics, Jolly Phonics. There are 42 sounds, which we were talking about. Not about the sound, letters, letter combination. Why it is used? Because the kids at the very beginning stage, they are given bits and pieces, these sounds, okay? This will help them to put it together and then say words, but not at the big words. You always started with the one syllable word and then two syllable words, and or in other words, like three-letter word or two-letter word, three-letter words, four-letter words, like that. It is increased one by one. So this way, with the images, with the sounds, once they are familiar with the sounds, and if you just simply show them any word, they will try to recollect all those sounds and then put it together in the right way in order to read that particular word, and they would make sense with the word. But again, like I said, kids, you have to go with the small words, like three-letter words, like they're not like five-letter or six-letter words because it's big for them. So that's a beginning stage. So that way, slowly you'll have to increase the number of letters in a word. That's the way this Jolly Phonics is start. First, you start with a two-letter word or three-letter word, and then four. Once they gain a little more knowledge, a little more experience, and once they're familiar with that, then you can just go increase the number of words, make it bigger, and then one point of time they get better at it. But if you ask me from my experience or my perspective, even if we are going to give them the best and the kids get all the 42 sounds, a 42 letter combination or sounds according to this Jolly Phonics, that will not cover up the whole thing in the whole of their communication skills, because it also involves there are other sounds which doesn't which is not there with the Jolly Phonics. So all these sounds almost there. For example, in Jolly Phonics, this sound is not there. Like that's the sound. And in the Jolly Phonics, they don't have some of the sounds like here they have almost all of them. They don't have the sound of this sound. They don't have this sound here. The three like symbol, you see that? That's the sound of Z. Vision. For example, I'll just write some word here. Words like we say genre. Some of the words, some way. There are so many ways it is said. Actually, it should be genre. Genre. We don't have that sound in any of the English, Tamil, or any of the languages in India, I believe. To my knowledge, that's why it's a very challenging sound. There are so many words like this. Look at that. Vision, it should be. Television, it should be. It should be treasure. It should be treasure. There are so many words. Treasure, treasure. Leisure, not leisure. It should be leisure. Leisure. And then measure. There are words like measure. And then you say luxury. Luxury, not luxury. Luxury. Wherever you have this si combination, that will actually give that kind of a sound. And sometimes like usual, it should be have like not used, usual, casual. So it should be not, we usually apply the sound of sh. If you become a master of this Jolly Phonics, you will pronounce this word as casual with the sh sound, because sorry about that, because Jolly Phonics does not give exposure to this particular the exact sound as in j at all in any one of the 42 combination or sound. So that is why the little upgraded level that is used, this advanced level is that is the International Phonetic Alphabet. So this is the sound of j, casual. Like how it is said when you say this word push. When you say the word push, where how your mouth position is. From there, if you keep your fingers here in this Adam's apple, the front part of your neck, in the middle, if it doesn't vibrate, that is a sh sound, like push. From the same position Try to make some sound like the honeybee. Zzzz. That is the sound. Casual, visual, measure, leisure, treasure, treasure, television, vision, genre, luxury, like that. And otherwise, other sounds actually that are there in Jolly Phonics, except this sound. This one sound is not there in Jolly Phonics, and the rest all there. Shh. This is the sound of shh, and this is the sound of the th sound. This is the sharp one, and this is the voiced one. Sorry, this is a voiceless one, like thief. And this is the voiced one. Look at these symbols. These are like universal symbols. These are the formulas based on which you have to pronounce English words, not based on the spelling. So we have some of the sounds that we have I, we have oi, we have a. We don't have a actually there, like fate, gate, mate, rate. And we don't have this one also, like that. Very few sound, but they're still okay. The rest all okay. These are all there. I also would like to give you some words also, like which we do not pronounce it correctly. Look at these words. We usually say like artistically, automatically, basically, biologically. No, all these letter A's are silent. Not only that, in the English language, if you find two consonants together, whether like two double L, double M, double N, like that, one of them will always be silent. So you have to say like this artistically, because A's are silent. Any word ends with CALLY, the A must be silent. So automatically, basically, categorically, phonetically, magically, solitary, military, like that. There's one part, the easy ones you can remember. And the first, this list of words that I've given, not all these, but some of them I've documented here. We usually say like abacus. No, it should be abacus, abacus, abbey, abdicate, abdomen. We say abdomen, no abdomen, no abnormal. It should be as in when you say the word cat, as in fat, cat, mat, rat, fat, like that. So abrogate, advert, adversary, adversary, no, adversary. Look at this word, not adverb. It should be adverb. That is the way. This will give you some idea. And some more example where you say we usually say like same a. Now it should be a two combination of a vowel sound, which is a diphthong. It should be a, same, state, take, paper. We usually say papa. It should be a, paper, paper. That is one thing that is missing from our language. Male, name. We usually say name. It should be a. It's a diphthong. There are actually two sounds together here. We only say a. Name. Not like that. There is another sound that is missing inside here, or it is embedded here. A. E sound. A. E. A. Play. Say. Stay. Today. Sail. Played. Like that. And then look at all these words. I'm sure that will help you definitely. I'll just parse out all these things. I'll make sure that you get it. All these letters, the first letter alone, we always say like a. Because there is a E letter, we always say a. No, it's not like a as in, for example. We don't say example. It's not a example. It should be like this. E. Example. Example, like that. Look that like the short I as in India. E, not a, not example. It should be E, example. Not elite, not allied, because there is a E, we tend to pronounce it like allied. Now it should be like this, elite, elite. That's how we have to pronounce this word. Likewise, all these words, only the first letter you have to make it. Instead of A, it should be E. It should be 11. It should be effect, not effect. It should be not emotion. It should be E as in India, E, emotion. We don't say India. India is our country. We don't say that. We usually say India. The similar sound you have to apply here. Not imply, it should be E, imply. All these words, look at all these words. Look at that. Not enclose, it should be E, enclose. not embarrass. It should be embarrass. E, embarrass, not A as in elephant. It should be E as in ink, E as in India, E as in inland, like that. Look at that. Not encourage. It should be encourage. In, not expand. It should be E, expand. So these words, I'm sure it will help you because you don't have to struggle a lot. Just one sound, you make a difference. A little adjustment, you make it, you get it perfect. Not a excuse me, it should be E. Excuse me. With the Z sound, you have to give because the S is in between the vowel, so you have to give the Z sound. Look at this word, expose. Two changes you have to make. Here, instead of A, you have to say E as in ink, and here the Z sound you have to give with the S because the S is in between the vowels. So exposure, J sound here. So S-U-R-E. And again, these are words where you have this. We usually say go, no, phone, like that. It should be not O, it should be O. It's a diphthong. Two sounds, one sound we actually miss out. You can practice that. And this is again where this letter R is actually pronounced. When we pronounce in the English language, especially with the British English, the letter R is not always pronounced. Sometimes it is pronounced, sometimes it's not pronounced. How to find out? It's a very basic rule, simple rule, remember. Like if the R is followed by a vowel letter, a vowel sound, in other words, A, E, I, O, U, and Y. Y is also called a vowel because it is a semi-vowel. How to find out if a word begins with a Y? It's a consonant. If a word ends with a Y, it is a vowel. Rather, it is a diphthong. For example, words like cry. Y is a diphthong at the end, so it comes under the vowel category. So if you follow, in other words, remember, ask like this. Next to the R, if you find a consonant, the R is mute. Example, park, P-A-R-K. Because I'll just write it down here. Look at that. P-A-R-K. You just remember easy way. Next to the letter R, if you find a vowel, any one of the vowel like A, E, I, O, U, or Y, then you have to pronounce the letter R. If you don't find it, mute it. 100% mute it. The same way how you say it, but don't sound the letter R. Pot, pot, pot. That's it. Also, park, marker, mark, like that. Because next to the R, you don't find any one of these sounds. If you find it, you pronounce it. If you don't find it, you have to mute it. So that is a little basic rule you can remember. And some other words like words ending with letter AGE or 2 more minutes, I'll finish it. Any words end with the AGE or EGE, we usually say like average, package, message, village, only the ending part. Instead of telling the long sound like age, it should be age. Like this, look at that. Courage, lineage, leakage, sausage, wantage, damage, garage is a garage, savage, voyage, voltage, luggage, not luggage, village, college, not like that, college. That is how we have to pronounce. Some other example that will help you. The next one is like words ending with a CIAL. We usually say like facial, racial, commercial, artificial, financial. Some of us may say that's not the way how it is said. It should be shall. SH. There's a word called SHAL, like shall I come in? Shall I go? We already say it perfectly. Just the same. Replace it. Social, racial, facial, special, facial, racial, social, like that. Official, not official. Please don't say that. So that again, some more to help you with. Where there's any word ends with ment, we usually say like government, meant. We say is meant. So any word ends with ment, we just have to take the e, put the a. Month, not meant. Month. That is exactly, you have to say all the words ending with ment. Just like the word ending CIAL and AGE, EGE. Ment always you have to say month, not meant. Look at all these words. You have to say like notable, suitable, no, able. You just have to say like notable, able, not able, able. Not like comfortable, no, comfortable, accountable, respectable, reachable, some words. And words ending with A, T, I, V, E, we usually say like representative, qualitative, quantitative, no, not tail, not long sound. It should be a short sound. Qualitative, quantitative, consultative, representative. The yes you have to give the Z sound because yes is in between the vowel. So representative, qualitative, argumentative, like that. I said I want to give a little more, but look at this letter D. All these are just easy, explanatory. You can go ahead. Look at all these ed ending words. Not all the ed endings are pronounced like ed or whatever. This ed, like you look at all these words. These eds you have to give the t sound. Just replace the t sound. Not like asked. It should be just replace the ed with the t sound. Asked. Not noticed. Don't get carried away just because there is a D, you have to give a D sound. That's not the way how English is. It should be noticed, checked, not checked, no looked, cooked, walked. No. The ED, you just have to replace it with the T sound. Checked, walked, talked, worked, crossed, dressed, guessed, fixed, reached with the T sound. Even though there is a D letter, but you have to give a T sound. Not all the EDs are said so. Some. Okay? Probably in the future, if we get another, we'll give you a little picture exactly how it is. But this one will help you. Just stick with these words. When you say these words, you have to give the T sounds. And some more. Look at all these yeses. Not all the yeses are yes sound. You have to give a Z sound. Some plural S's are not always give the yes sound. Sometimes Z sound. So all these yeses you find here, you have to give a Z sound. Not the yes sound. When you say this word plays, you have to give a Z sound, not a yes sound. Boys, you have to give a yes sound. Not all the plural S's are like this. Some. Probably next time when we get it, I'll explain to you how you have to do this. But stick to these words. All these words, just as you find, you have to give a Z sound. Sees, not with the yes sound, it should be with a Z sound. Okay, so also this word. Look at all these yeses in between the vowels. You have to give the Z sound. Look at that. Doze, desire, design, because the yes is in between the vowel. Deserve, you have to give the Z sound. Abuse, accuse with the Z sound. Advise with the Z sound. Because with the Z sound. Because all these words you have in the middle of the vowel. Music, not music with the yes sound, because it is a Z sound. Because all these yeses you find in between the vowels. So you must definitely give the Z sound for all these words. Present, visit, not the yes sound, it's a Z sound. Use with the Z sound, not the yes sound. So remember that. Okay, so these are some of the words that we don't pronounce it correctly. I take 1 minute to rush it up and we'll go for the question session. For example, not alternative, excuse me, alternative. Not biscuit or biscuit, it should be biscuit because the U is mute. Not broccoli, it should be broccoli. And not colleague or colleague, it should be the long sound. Either you say colleague, which is American, or you can say colleague, which is British. Colleague, colleague. But what we do, we say sometimes colleague, sometimes colleague. Colleague is not that way. It should be co with a long sound. Colleague, which is British. Colleague. Either way you say it, you have to stretch it, the sound. Colleague is British. Colleague is American. Colleague, colleague. But what we do, we just shorten the long sound and pronounce it, and we are used to that. Not that way. Cucumber, no. Cucumber, cucumber. And democratic, we saw that. Demonstrate, not demonstrate. Demonstrate. Elite. Onion, not onion. It should be like this. Or maybe like this. Onion. 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 There's a word already on, we say it correctly. And club it together. Onion, onion. There's a word called poem. Is not, there are so many ways it is actually said. The exact way is this. Not poem. It's not, sorry. Poem is not right. Poem is not right. Whatever. Look at that. Poem is exactly right. These are not correct. Red highlighted is not correct. And this one's perfect. Like the green ones. Poem, poet, poetry, poetical. Poem. Club it together. Poem. Not poem. Poem is not right because there are two sounds in between, middle, embedded. You have to enunciate that as well. Not poem. No, it's poem. That's how we have to say. This one is not receipt. It should be receipt. Look at this word. You have to pronounce it. It's pronounced like this. Receipt. Not receipt. It should be receipt. That is how we have to pronounce it. And there's one more I would like to say. It's not swore because the W is mute and the letter R is mute. So you have to say sewed. And look at this tarties. No, it should be totus. 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 It's not vehicle. It should be vehicle like this. There's a spelling, but that's not the way you have to pronounce it. Vehicle. Vehicle. You have to split it, practice, and get it right. Vehicle, not vehicle, because the H is mute. So there is a lot more I wish to say, but I have already taken a lot of time more than I've been given. So I'm sorry about it. I'm sure that you would have learned a lot, and I will also make sure that I send it to the person in charge, all these material, and you can just, that person will forward it to you. And any other question anybody has, and if you want to get me, you can always get in touch with me. I also have a YouTube channel called English with Dr. Suresh. That's my YouTube channel. I have more than 200 videos, I think, more than 100 videos. I don't know exactly how many I have, but about 100. And you may even, I talk a lot about the pronunciation. You can just take a look at that, and I'm sure you would love it. This is my number, WhatsApp number. Anybody has any doubt with English language, especially anything A to Z, you can always get in touch with me, especially pronunciation, because I always call myself as a pronunciation expert. So any doubt, any question, you can always get me on this. And this is my YouTube channel. Now we'll go ahead with some questions anybody has with whatever we have done. We'll go ahead and discuss.
Dr.
Please go ahead.
Ponnurangam?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yes,
much
sir.
for being a Henry Higgins for the day. I hope
Yes,
you
sir.
can recollect that movie called Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw. So,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, so,
The
yeah,
flower
thank you
girl,
so much. It
yes.
was very insightful, and
Welcome, sir.
I actually learned a lot from you. And I just want
Yes,
to
so
know.
we'll also send all this to you. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
So I just want to know, like, do you actually, or a person of a more of an audiovisual person,
Yeah, for
like the movie?
pronunciation, for
Yeah,
teachers also, because this is
Yeah,
related
that's
to
good.
the
I've been into it
phonetics.
for a very long time. I wanted to speak English like this, so I started from the scratch, and that's what you see me. Not only that, I'm an English graduate, like BA, MA, MPhil, PhD. I did my research, 5 years of research into the pronunciation, and you can see the depth of it from my
Thank you.
voice or the way how I
Yes.
speak.
Yes, I
Yes,
could see that, and I felt it.
yes.
But is there any the easiest way for transcription? Because I also teach the languages,
There,
foreign languages, so I could.
yes.
I'm basically a bilinguist. So when I teach Spanish, I usually use this kind of transcription. But since you are actually an expert in this, I want to take a insightful from you. That is there anything the short method, very short time?
There is
Uh,
no short cut, sir, but just practice. but to get some exposure, update yourself, and then you can do it in the classroom. So you have a lot of videos in the YouTube. Especially you can follow my YouTube channel because you can find a lot more video speaking about all those sounds, phonetic sounds, and a lot of mispronounced words, things like that. You may get in touch with that, or if you want to know or any specific, you can always get in touch with me. This is my number. You can always ask me through WhatsApp or messages, things like that. But like I said, there is no easy shortcut way. You just have to practice, and we have to update
Suresh sir,
ourselves with the exam,
Suresh
and
sir,
then go ahead in the classroom. Yes, yes, ma'am, please.
Suresh sir,
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, please.
all the slides share with to Shushmita ma'am.
Sure, sure, I will. I will send it. I will send it.
Thank you so much, doctor.
Any other question, please? Yes,
Thank you
yes.
so
You're
much.
welcome,
Thank
sir.
you so much.
Yes, you're welcome, sir. Any other question, please?
We have 5 minutes with us, so if you want to ask any question to Suresh, you can just put across. Otherwise, he will be sharing the materials to me. He will be mailing me the materials. Those who need the material, kindly to contact me through my mail ID. I'll provide the materials to those concerned persons. Is it clear to all of you?
Ma'am, we want the all the slides also.
I already told it will be shared, Sonu.
Okay, ma'am.
Not only that, I also would like to give you a little. I also have the sound and it's how it is pronounced. For example, look at this MP3 audio of all those sounds. With the you see this name on it, all those 42 sounds, Jolly Phonics sounds. Look at that. You click it, that'll pronounce the sound for you. Get some idea, and you practice in the classroom. I will also send these sounds, 42 sounds, along with all the materials as well, like how every sound in Jolly Phonics must be pronounced. Everything will be sent to you. I don't know whether it is audible to you. Like, let me just. Is it audible to anybody? Is it audible?
No, Suresh, we can't
Okay,
hear
but I
you.
will. I will send it. I will send it. Yes, I will also send all these sounds as well. All these 42 sounds of Jolly Phonics. This is the
Uh,
one. I will send it together.
All right, Suresh. I hope we can
Yes.
wind up now. And it was a really informative and insightful knowledge we gathered from you, Suresh. Hope to meet you again the coming
Sure,
days.
sure. Anytime, anytime, anytime.
Thank
I'm
you.
always willing
And
to share my knowledge.
yeah, let's bid goodbye to all of you. Thank you
Bye.
so much for taking your precious time and joining
Thank you,
Thank you,
us.
Sushmita ma'am.
sir.
Thank you so much and
Thank you.
grateful to
Thank you.
Dr. Suresh.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for the
Thank
Good
you,
night.
Dr.
opportunity.
Good night,
Thank
Thank you.
you,
Suresh.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You
much.
Suresh,
too.
Good night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
WhatsApp.
Yes.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
leave it.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.